I want everyone here to trust me just for one moment, okay? Just repeat after me. So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2,
okay.
3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Okay. Some of you are doing an awesome job, and some of you not so much. So just trust me, shake it off. We'll shake it off. I'm up here for a reason. It's going to get a lot sillier, so just shake it off. All right, we'll try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2,
nice.
3, 4.
A, B, C, D.
A, B, C, D.
Pa, pa, pa.
Pa, pa.
All right. Pa, pa, pa. Make it explosive.
Pa, pa.
All right. Nice. Yes. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. Beatboxing is the art of making music with your mouth. You're probably more familiar with another form of mouth music, singing. It's definitely more popular. It goes back thousands of years. You know, you've got tons of singing traditions, Gregorian chant, jazz, opera, singing in the shower, all of these things. But if you take all of them, you combine them, they really only use a small subset of sounds. And in beatboxing, we use any and all sounds that you can make with the mouth and with the voice. So it sounds like this. And so, thank you. So as beatboxers, we take these sounds and we order them into sequences of rhythms called beats. It's a pretty cool microphone. No, there are no effects. It's all with the mouth. And as beatboxers, we'll do singing sounds too. Singing isn't my strong suit, but we'll use everything. Whoa, everybody. Whoa, everybody. Whoa, everybody. Whoa, everybody loves TEDxNatick. All right, your turn. Actually, just dive right in, dive right in. No, I'm not gonna make you do more beatboxing, but you could do all of these things with enough practice. A lot of people think that beatboxing is some magical, mysterious talent that you're either born with or you're not, but it's like any other skill. It just takes instruction and practice. And the first time that I beatboxed on a stage, I was with my high school's best and only student-run a cappella group, Boys Don't Sing. I can tell you right now, we did not hold a candle to Scale Storm earlier. But after some serious classic high school drama, we needed a beatboxer for the big set at our big school assembly. And so I stepped up, and I made these weird noises in front of my teachers and classmates and everybody I'd ever had a crush on. And I was about as prepared as any of you might be if I asked you to come up right now and do a quick solo after that exercise we just did. I hadn't practiced at all. But I stepped on stage and I owned it, and magically, no, it was terrible. It was really bad. Really, 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 really bad. I was mortified. Really bad. But as it turned out, nobody cared. No one. Not even my crushes. But the reason is because beatboxing has been completely overlooked. It's been discarded basically from day one. It had brief popularity as the fifth element of hip-hop, which is another often overlooked art form. But since then, it's mainly been relegated to party tricks and awkward a cappella arrangements, like I did with Boys Don't Sing. Most groups use really, really simple beats, and at least at the time that I was beatboxing, so they would kind of just do like, it just goes on and on and on. Who wants to listen to that forever, right? And I got so tired of doing the same thing over and over on stage, I felt so awkward, that I wanted to find a way to make beatboxing something that was exciting, instead of something that was, at its worst, totally ignored, and at its best, still pretty much ignored. But it was hard. As human beings, we're really, really good with sound. Most of us are born with the ability to hear sounds and mimic them, refine them, attach meaning to them, right? As children, it starts off as mama, and then mom, mommy, mother. We're really, really good at this. And we're so good at it that we can actually mimic sounds and do sounds on instruments that have no meaning attached to them. But it does kind of have a meaning, and it tickles something in our brain, and so people can make a living as musicians or as music instructors, as composers. But learning beatboxing in particular is really, really difficult for two reasons. And the first reason is that we don't have the same history of other instruments. We don't have all of that tradition. So we don't have a book full of Mozart and Beethoven beatbox repertoire we can turn to. And you probably have tons of awesome piano teachers and singing teachers within a couple miles of your house, but you probably don't have a qualified beatboxing instructor. And we don't even have a notation system. So it's really, really difficult to stay on track, especially without teachers telling us that we're making the right sounds. And so the second reason that learning beatboxing is really hard is that the sounds we're using are sounds that have been completely discarded. They might not appear in any languages at all, and we might never have heard them. So some of these are the inward sounds, like, or on their own, they sound really, really strange. And when you're practicing them, you feel ridiculous. And so, I mean, I'm sure some of you probably felt ridiculous just in that first exercise for like 2 seconds. And in high school, I would hang out in the choir room for hours after school, just doing these weird, weird sounds over and over, you know. Just went on and on. And I got a lot of super judgmental stares, which, coming from my fellow choir nerds, was saying something. But I don't blame them, because it was weird. You know, the sounds are weird. But slowly, they shifted. And when you take something that's been thrown away, of course, sometimes it is trash. But as the saying goes, sometimes it can become treasure. So these sounds shifted from being weird to special. And so things like this became, and sounds like, that one's my favorite. I still use that one. But sounds like that became, okay. So I graduated from high school, and I went to Harvard. I think they had a beatboxer quota or something, and only like 2 of us applied, so. But I made a name for myself on campus as a good beatboxer, but I couldn't find a community that actually valued beatboxing itself. We had piano clubs, orchestras, choirs, we had mariachi band, jazz band. anything you could imagine, but nothing that had other beatboxers and nothing that saw beatboxing as offering something of value. And I just wanted a community that saw the same potential in the art form that I did. So I did some research, and I found one. It turns out there is a place where all the best beatboxers in the US gather, and it's beatbox battles. So I did some more research, and I found out that the best place, in my opinion, to start off with these beatbox battles is one of the biggest cities for beatboxing in the United States, Columbus, Ohio. Seriously. So I practiced my routines for months, and I drove to Columbus for the Midwest Beatbox Battle. I went on stage, and this time I'd been practicing. I was ready. It was my moment. If I won this, I'd be the Midwest champion. Then I could become the American champion. You get an automatic spot in the American championships. Went on stage, lost my very first battle, just immediately destroyed, just demolished. But it didn't matter because I'd found my people. All of us were asking the same question. I found scholars, researchers, and beatbox teachers, beatbox practice buddies, all of us asking, how do we push beatboxing forward? And they weren't just asking it, they were doing it. So for the past several years, I've been finding my place within that beatbox community. My favorite thing, the thing I'm most interested in, is finding ways to help the rest of the world, those outside of the beatbox bubble, appreciate the art form. But you don't have to think that beatboxing is the best thing since Bach or the Beatles to see it as offering something of value, because it has a lot to offer even outside of the world of music. Some of those friends that I met use beatboxing in speech pathology programs because for some reason, some kids might not be able to make the ch sound in chat or chip, but they can perfectly mimic this beat. And I do a lot of research with linguistics as well. I do research with linguistics professors to study the way that language processing and beatboxing are similar. And we present our work around the world at linguistics conferences. It turns out that the way we process these super ridiculous sounds like are really, really similar to the way that we process sounds like this spoken language. I mean, like, English only uses, I think, 44 separate sounds. And if you took all the languages in the world and you add them up, they only use maybe a couple hundred. But beatboxing uses thousands of sounds. But people rarely tend to look at what we don't use, what we've thrown away. So beatboxing has really taught me to see the potential in the discarded. And I'm not saying all of you should go out and become professional beatboxers, but you were sounding pretty good in that exercise. But I just think maybe take another look at things you might be throwing away, things that you might be ignoring. And if you have people in your life, parents, siblings, friends, kids, or grandkids who are pursuing something that you might not think has value, don't disregard them. Support them because they might be onto something. And it might sound a little bit like this. Thank you.